everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the 10 cards 1 kit video for the Love From Lizi June 2018 card kit. Card number 1, I cut a rectangular frame die out of fun foam and attached double-sided adhesive tape to the whole frame, keeping to one side in case there was overhang from the foam when I attached the exact duplicate that was cut out of black cardstock. And there was, so I trimmed that away. Attaching the black cardstock to the foam, I also burnished that well so that the tape would stick well, and then I used the ribbon from the embellishment bag, attaching it to the bottom and securing with tape on the back side. A knot was tied with ribbon in the center of the ribbon that was attached to the front, and this was secured with glue dots. The frame die cut was attached to the front panel with liquid glue, and the negative space left from the die cut was utilized with small stickers from the sticker sheets. I then made a frame, square frame, to match the outside frame for the inside. The negative space was set inside the die cut, and a large sticker, chipboard sticker that's handmade, was situated in the center of the bottom space of the die cut. The outside panel was attached with liquid adhesive, as was the inside panel. Low profile adhesive squares were cut to give dimension to this frame. In the negative space, a sticker was applied that says "Crafting Every Day Keeps the Crazy Away," and that completes this card. Here's a photograph so you can get a closer look. On to card number 2. Card number 2, I cut circle frames, 3 of them, and attached them with a liquid adhesive. Flower stickers are taken from the sticker sheet and attached with dimension. And then I use a bow from the embellishment bag, and this too was attached with dimension. Die cuts that I have in my stash, various leaf shapes, were used. And then 2 black frames were cut, one from the inside and one for the outside. I stamped some texture onto some craft cardstock and cut that into 2 strips, one for the inside and one for the outside, and attached that to the front panel below the wreath. A ribbon was taken apart and double-sided adhesive tape was attached to it, and this was attached to the center of the sentiment strip. Miss You was cut from the metallic shimmer paper, and then adhesive foam tape was covered the complete back of the front panel, and this was attached to the front. This is the front of the card and the inside of the card. And that completes this card. Card number 3, I used the pattern paper. I cut it to fit the whole panel, and 3 words of "Celebrate" out of white cardstock, and 1 from a purple glimmer paper, which was in a kit previous. I ran the glimmer portion through the small Xyron and attached the lawn fawn panel to the front. I stitched the heart ribbon onto a piece of paper and then attached that to the center front of the card. The word "Celebrate" with the word "Halo" was attached. The halo was cut from vellum. "Happy Birthday" was placed on the inside panel, and the purple glimmer paper was attached to the bottom along with the peel off. This card is now complete. And here's a photograph. On to card number 4. Card number 4, a front panel was cut from cardstock from my stash with a rectangular die with stitching. Organza ribbon from the embellishment bag was tied along the bottom of this panel in a bow. The word "Beautiful" from a die from my stash was cut from the gray cardstock multiple times and then glued together for dimension. This was then attached below the organza ribbon. I used 3 gals' heads from the chipboard stickers and applied the largest one in the center and then the smaller ones on each side. Foam adhesive tape was attached to the bottom of the front panel, making sure that I covered the organza ribbon. This was attached to the front of the card base, and then Spectrum Noir crystal overlay was applied to the word beautiful. I decided to use glue dots to secure the front of the ribbon, and then an inside panel was cut to size along with gray and white striped paper, and then the same color as the front, this aqua color, was attached to the bottom of the diagonal stripe. The word "You" was stamped with gray ink, and then the inside panel was attached. And that completes this card. On to card number 5. Card number 5 uses the navy metallic paper cut into a card base and flowers that were fussy cut from the 12 by 12 sheet of paper. A rectangle was cut from the pattern paper, and the decorative element was made with a circle punch on each corner. The centers of the flowers were cut from the dies from the kit, and the navy shimmer paper, the metallic finish, went through dry embossing. The stems and flowers are my own, and the words "Best Wishes" was cut from the shimmer paper from a die in my stash. The panel was attached to the card base, and then the inside card panel was cut from white cardstock. I had a piece of the shimmer paper reserved for the inside panel, and then used a different stem along with an additional die cut to make the flower. The inside panel was secured to the inside of the card base, and that finishes this card. Card number 6 is a relatively easy card. I cut a center with the stitches on each side in the front, and then attached double-sided tape using a piece of acetate and then some really fine micro beads in the center. I repeated the process by securing these beads between 2 sheets of the acetate, and then I cut an additional inside panel for the front backing of the card. Onto the inside of the card, Eat, Sleep, Craft, and Repeat was secured with a liquid adhesive to the inside of the card, and then the measuring tape ribbon was attached to the outside. I made sure to twist one side of the bow so that just the measurements would show on the bow. When I finished that, I secured it with some glue dots, applied a sticker and a chipboard sticker to the front, and the static just makes those beads run up the whole acetate. So that completes this card. Card number 7, a dome die cut Craftiness is Happiness. Using the pattern paper and the silver foil paper, I cut those for the front panels, attaching the foil and then the pattern paper on top. I found ribbon that was metallic that matched the color, and I layered this on the front of the card and then taped it down so that I could put the sentiment on top of it, making sure to put foam tape along the whole back of this. Once that was secured over the ribbon, I trimmed the ribbon down. And then an inside panel was cut, and then the same ribbon brought into the inside of the card, as well as the strip that matches the outside. And that completes this card. And here's a photograph. And now we're on to card number 8. Using the yellow cardstock from the kit, I cut 2 panels, one for the inside and one for the outside, and then I cut down a 12 by 12 sheet to make an additional panel. I secured one of the yellow panels onto the front, and then the pattern paper went over the top to have a border on the top and the bottom. When this was dry, I punched out a strip and then secured the panel that was yellow on the inside too. I made a butterfly. I cut it from a die cut that was in a previous kit and applied glitter for the body and thread for the antennas. This was made and cut out of vellum, and then I also used the silver mirror paper to cut an additional one. The silver body was attached first, making sure to hold that down through the opening, and once it was secured, I then applied the vellum, making sure to line up the bodies perfectly, And then the word perfect, just as you are, was stamped from the stamp set and next to the butterfly. Additional flowers were attached to the front of the card, as was the word hello in the sentiment strip after the butterfly had been secured. And that completes this card. And here's a photograph. Card number 9. The navy shimmer paper is dry embossed, and Do Something Creative Every Day panel is cut to size and placed over that. I made a fringe with the rainbow 12 by 12 paper, cutting it into strips, and then cutting it with fringe scissors, attaching them both by sewing machine, and then covering the thread with the blue organza ribbon. I also took Make the World Beautiful and cut that with a die, attaching that to the inside panel. The outside panel was attached to a black card base. The word creative, I went over that with the Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and here is this card. Quick and easy. Card number 10. Card number 10, I do some watercoloring with the Zig Real Color brush markers, and I stamped it from the stamp set. I always get a lot of questions about how I colored it, so I thought I'd give you a little more information on that. I just put the darker color up where it's going to be darker, so along the hairline, underneath the chin, the nose, and on the hair. I use the darker color where there would be folds in the hair, and then bring a second color to extend the darker one, and then finally the lighter one goes over just the areas that are left blank. This shirt here shows you the process a little bit better. And finally I'm on to the lighter marker, which drags the darker colors down, and then you get a gradual coloring. The eyes are blue, and the whites I did a pale gray. A 4.5 by 11 card base was scored at 1.5, 4.5, and at 7. And fold it like this, valley, mountain, valley. I cut the girl that I colored to size to fit one of the panels, and then used 3 stickers along with the stamp Crafty Girl. I cut panels so that the text would run, finish itself from square to square. The only exception was the front, where I used the pattern paper from the 12 by 12 sheets. The chipboard sticker, I flipped over some of the pattern paper and traced that, and then glued the ribbon between the chipboard sticker and the paper. This would be great for a gift card for a crafty friend. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know which one you like. Bye-bye.